Okay, today we're doing HTML. I'll do CSS another time because this HTML video is probably going to be a bit longer because there's a bit, and there's also a lot of CSS stuff, and I don't want to make a super duper long video. But yeah, let's get right to it. So the first thing you want to do is get an environment. I get Sublime Text. It's a free trial that goes on forever, so it's basically free. But you could also use WebStorm with JetBrains if you wanna do that, I guess. JetBrains license is free for students, but you have to do like a process to get it. But let's just get right into it. So HTML is stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and in front end, it's basically like the noun, like it makes all the objects and stuff on a website, while CSS is what makes it look pretty and stuff. JavaScript, however, is what makes it do stuff. I don't know if I'm going to do videos on that yet, but we'll see. So the code I just pulled up, this is called the a boilerplate. So every HTML project website you're going to see has these lines of code because it needs them. The more advanced boilerplates might have stuff like Google Analytics, CSS style sheets, and other stuff like that. But we're starting basic right now. So I'll explain each line. So doctype HTML tells the browser that the document type is HTML. HTML, it says that this is all HTML, and I'll just explain this really quick. Each of these things in the little arrows is called a tag, and a lot of tags come with the starting tag and a tag that has a slash, which is a closing tag. There are some self-closing tags. I'll get to them. I'll just point them out when we get to them. But long story short, tag, closing tag. Okay, so back to the boilerplate. This head tag contains stuff called metadata. And metadata is the stuff that you don't see on the website, like a CSS style sheet, maybe Bootstrap stuff. Yeah, I'll get to Bootstrap in another video probably. But right now we're dealing with title. Title is okay, when you have this tab open, see this text right here? This is the title. I'll explain this later. Okay. So again, since it's the first program, save it, hello world. And the body, this is the content of your website. It's going to contain all your text, all your images, all that. So let's make something. This is heading 1. This is the biggest text on the page. Well, we're not touching CSS yet, so this is going to be the biggest text on the page. You could have up to 6 headings, 6 heading tags. I mean, like it goes H1, H2, you know, and then a paragraph tag. So typically you want one H1, or at least just one thing having the biggest text on the page. And let's make a coherent website. Do you guys like dogs? I like dogs. Okay. So I'll just make it H2 just to show how the font size decreases. So let's save this and take a quick look. Okay, see how this is bigger than that? Also, if you right click any web page and click view source, bam, there's a code. I'm using Microsoft Edge, but it works for any browser. It looks a little big, so I'm just gonna make it H3. Okay, time for the body of the page. So let's make a div. So you typically wanna organize your page based in blocks. Well, your code in blocks. So if you want you want to have relevant stuff grouped together. So actually, you see this website right here. So you can see there's stuff right here, and then stuff right on the side. And if you look at this in terms of code, I'm not going to view the source code because it might get a little messy. But when you're organizing this stuff, you typically don't want to have everything mashed together. So that's why you have divs. So it's easier to organize and find stuff, etc, etc. So it's going to be a div. We're going to put a paragraph tag, which is SP. Let's put some tags. Okay, so now we have a paragraph. And notice how it says top dog list. Yeah, we're gonna make that. So I can't think of dog breeds right now. Jeez, okay. So this is an OL tag, or ordered list, which is gonna create a list, like a numbered list, like exactly a numbered list. So when you do an ordered list, what you want to do is each item on the list would be in a set of li tags, which stands for list item. And Shiba, yep. Let's just take a look. Oh, did you see that? Look. So as you see, there's a 1 because it's the first item in the ordered list, and the paragraph is also here too. So let's just put a couple, let's put like 2 more. Sorry, I choked, I couldn't think of any. Okay, so now, if we save this, take a look at it. Look, we got the 3 dogs. And you're probably wondering, okay, that's an ordered list. Can I make one with just bullet points? And the answer to that is, yeah, you totally can. So, let's make another paragraph just to give context. Actually, since we have breeds, let's close that div. Did I not close that? Ooh. So we're gonna just list dog food brands. We don't need what's it called? We don't need them in order to we're not ranking dog food brands. I haven't tried dog food. I don't know how I would rank them. But instead of using OL for ordered list, you could do UL for unordered list. And it's the same deal with list items. I don't know dog food brands. I don't have a dog. I'll just close that off. So we got bullet points here this time. So, and again, you see these lists, if you think you could do something with them, then you could probably do it. And what I mean by that is, yes, you could put a list inside a list. So it could go either way, if it's ordered list and ordered list, unordered list and ordered list, you know what I mean. So okay. I know you don't feed dogs grapes. Give me a second. The important thing to know when you do that is make sure everything is, you don't get confused, and make sure everything's closed and that kind of stuff. Okay, now you see this one thing has a thing, and yeah, you could just infinitely do it if you want, but what's the point of that? But just know that you can nest one list tag inside another list tag. Okay, so next. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so we see this. You know what it's missing? A dog picture. Okay, so as you might imagine, I'm going to show you how to get dogs. Get pictures. So what you want to do is go to the URL for a picture. Sorry, 1 second, I don't know how to do it. Okay, so I switched to Chrome and I got this dog picture. So what you want to do is copy the image address, right? Go back to your code and it'll show you an image tag. Let's put it at the under here. The image tag IMG. What does that stand for? You tell me. And image, that stands for source. And then you would put the URL to the image, or if you have it in a file like on locally saved, then you would have the name of that image, or what's it called, the route to it if it's not in the same folder. And there you go. See, look, now we got a puppy. Oh, look at it. Okay, so yes, you could do that with images. Can you adjust the what's it called, the dimensions? Yes. Why am I not telling you how? Because that is CSS, and that is for another day, but I respect your ambition. And now that we have an image, you're probably thinking, I want to learn more about Chibas. So, okay, so let's do that. We got Chiba right here. Let's make that link to web page, the wiki about Chibas. So the way to link to things is with an anchor tag. Actually, it's a bit confusing. That's it with that. I'll just write here. Anchor. Yep. So you'd put anchor, href, and then the URL you want to go to. So let's take a link to this Japanese breed of hunting dog and stick it in here. So that links to that, but note how, okay, I forgot to mention, image, as you can see, is a self-closing tag because we don't have to have /image. But for an anchor tag, the text after this would be what you want the text, what you want the link to say. You'll see it in the web page. And then after you put the text, you do a closing tag. Did I save? Oh yeah, okay, it's right here. So if you click, the text I put was Shiba. If you click Shiba, it brings you to Shiba. But yeah, so let's just move that to the list item. You know what, while I'm here, I forgot to tell you what a comment is. So a comment, arrow, I don't know what it's called, exclamation point, dash dash, then you would put your comment, and for my comment for the head, this is for metadata. You close it, dash dash, arrow. Yep, so now you know comments. I should have been putting them a lot more in this, but you know how to comment now. That's what's important. Okay, so back to the website. So you see we have headings, paragraphs, lists, images, and links. So you could make something really, really basic with this. You know, everything I'm teaching you, you could make something really, really basic. But now we're gonna go to tables. So a table is, let's put it at the bottom of the list. Start a table with table. And let's give it, if you want table to have a border. This is the number of pixels. But you know what? I don't think we even need the px, but the unit is pixels. So now you've created a table. So let's make t head. So tables have two tags that can be nested in it, t head and t body. These things, they don't appear on the actual table, but it helps with organizing your information. So you know what, I'm just not going to use it. I'm just going to bring it up, not use it yet. So now you have a table, t row makes a row. So now we have a row, but we need data in the row. So let's make a dog picture table. So t row. So normally for a standard cell in the table, just has anything, you just put td. But let's get some headings in there. So a th, that's a table heading tag thing. So basically, you know how if you look at a table, there's the labels on the top and then the labels on the side. Th is like the top labels. So let's name it dog breed. And so what you're doing is you're putting data along the row. So you're going down the row, putting stuff in. And don't forget to end your row. So now we have a row. What's next? So you just make another row. So if each of these, this is essentially the column that it's creating. So by making a unit for dog breed in the table, you're going to make a column for it. You know what? So what better way to see it than see we have a 1x1 table or 2x1, but so now let's make a new row. Also, notice how it's bolded. The text is bolded. That's because we have a th. So now we make another row. Then we use td because it's a standard data. And let's use Shiba because we already have that picture. And now this would be the dog. This would be under picture column. And yes, you can nest an image inside. Wrong one. So now that we have that there, let's just get rid of this. Keep it clean. Clean as you go. It's like a kitchen. So sorry for the noise. They're doing some work out there. So now T row is done, and I don't feel like getting other pictures, so let's just close the table. If we save that. Uh-oh, looks like there's an error. That's what coding's all about. See, we didn't close. Oh. Well, that isn't that awkward. So, it's probably a problem in our code. Sorry about that. Okay, I got the error. So actually I messed up. It's not T row. It's just TR. So now we save that. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. So now we have thing with Shibas. And actually there's a few tags I missed that I kind of get out of the flow, so I'll just step back a little. So we see the web page, right? I think there should be a distinguishing thing separating this, right? So we're gonna put in a self-closing HR tag and between the list and the border, and HR stands for horizontal row, and what it's going to do is put a horizontal line and some other things. I'm going to show you how to bold and italicize. So this is really easy. Just take your text that you want bold. To bold it is strong tag, and then closing strong tag, and to emphasize I just had a better idea, or not, is emphasize. Italicize is actually just emphasize in this. So save that, take a look, italicize, bolded. Okay, so we look at our website. What do we got? We got images, tables, links, list, bolding. I showed you what a div was, emphasize, and headings, and the boilerplate. So now, time for the fun stuff. When I say fun, I mean not that fun. We're gonna make a form. So forms are, at least right now, we can't do much with them, because what forms usually do is they send stuff to a server. It more ties into back-end web development, but since we're not doing that, we're just gonna use it. Just so you know. But forms would be nothing without the trusty input tag. You know what? Let's make a new file. And for this new file, we're gonna make it so that you register to be in the doggy club. Oh yeah. Let's put it right here. Sorry, excuse me. This is allergy season. So let's make it an H5, because why not? Click here, and let's make it go to doggy form. Here, to join doggy club. And to prove that this works, let's get that boilerplate in here. And I'm spacing it out just so it's easier to organize. Click that, bam. So that's just proof that it works. I think I'm gonna have to open that again. Oh no, that's a spoiler. So, what we want is an input. So, let's make a form. There are actions, there's an action thing, action attribute, that's what it's called for forms, but we're not going to use that yet because again, that's more tied towards backend. And let's put an input. So, input, there's a lot of things you could do with input, but it all depends on the type. So we're going to make this text. We're going to ask for the name. So let's do it. Actually, I'm going to make name. I'll get into name in a bit. Type equals text. And you could do ID, but it's more useful when you're in CSS, but I'll just put it just because. And then we have placeholder. So this is the text, it's placeholder text for when they don't enter anything. And let's make this required. So required, it requires that they enter this. And for every input, you need, sorry, I'm gonna space this out a little. A label. So this for thing, looks for the name. So you need a compatible for, no, not the name, the ID. So you need a matching for and ID, so that it gives it this label. So what a label does is it gives it this. It says, it says name right there. It gives it that label. So without it, it would just be you see what I mean? You know what I mean? You know? Okay, but back to the point. So, you need your name to join Doggy Club. What else? Let's give him an email. So we could give him emails for Doggy Club. So let's do label for So you're probably thinking you're just going to do another text, right? Another text type? Nah, because there is in fact an email type. And what email type does, it just requires that it's a valid email by having an @. Okay, so ID that's not required. Password, same thing for password. You need a password. You're gonna need a password, and there is a password type which does that thing where it's just ... like black dots instead of text. I'm gonna type its password. I'm writing pass, but it's just password. Let's make that required. Okay, let's look at what we have right now. So we got name, blah blah blah. Oh, I don't have a submit button. I'll just put a submit button really quick, just so you know that it requires it. Actually, I'm not sure if that's right, but it doesn't hurt to try. Okay, just forget this error, but the point is, look, it's not recognizing, needs a password, and okay, I'll take that. And notice how everything's on the same line. You could easily fix that with divs. So the video's getting a little long. I'm just gonna pause and then just code the divs, I guess. I'll be back. See ya, boy. Okay, I actually went on and did a little more than add divs. So let's just take a look at what I got right now. You see everything's different line because of the divs. I also added these things, which I'll get to right now. So what I added was a radio button selection for gender, drop down for your favorite dog breed, and of course Shiba for me, and a checkbox for agreeing to the terms and conditions. So let's just get to the radio buttons first. So forget the div. So radio buttons just need the type to equal radio, and notice how there's different options and you can only check one. That's because they all need the same name, so that makes them as part of the same, I guess, set of buttons. And you also need a value. This is really important for backend stuff, because what's the point of selecting it if there's no value to it? And if there's no value, what are you even sending to the server once you submit the form? So for radio buttons, thing you gotta remember, type radio, on same name for each of the options, and don't forget the label. The label again matches the ID. So They don't need the same label or the same ID, but they do need the same name attribute. Next, I did the dropdown. So again, label, and the thing with dropdown is it's not an input type. Well, it technically is, but it's not an input tag. So the tag you use is select, and select again is dropdown. I gave it the name. That's for, I'll explain why I gave it a name later. If it's not like a set of radio buttons, and ID for the label. So for each drop-down option, of course, you'd have a set of option tags. I only have 3, and don't forget to close them, etc, etc. And the checkbox is pretty self-explanatory. Type checkbox, and same with the label. It's one thing I forgot to put that we could do together. So this is, let's make a div for it, text area. So you see that we have, this is just a single line of text, right? Well, text area is exactly what you think it is. It's like a short answer type of thing. So, but the thing is, just do text area. Then it's a little messed up, isn't it? Also, I'll fix that. You could make it bigger or smaller, but that's, you see the default, but you could change it as I just said. I don't know if I taught you guys this tag, but if you do slash, if you do BR, that's a break. So instead of a horizontal row, it is a space. So as I was saying, text area, you could change the width and the height of it by doing rows and columns. And I'll do like, so actually I might have messed up. It might be rows and columns instead of, yeah. So yeah, as you can see, I gave it a lot of rows, and the columns seem to have stayed the same, or maybe. See, this is a learning experience. If you don't know something, don't be afraid to Google it. It's part of coding. It's part of HTML and stuff. I see that, rows and calls. Oh, so I was right. Awkward. Give it 50. Okay. So you can see you could change that. So let's just, I like the 20 columns. Let's give it like 10 rows. Let's just go back to default. But now you know you could change it with rows and columns. And as you can see, there is a closing tag, which means you can have text. It's kind of a placeholder. Let's do, yeah, I know it's dogs, but everyone likes Jeebas, so. Oh, well, I guess I gotta do placeholder. Also, yeah, let's fix this thing. That's a lot of that's a lot of rows, if I do say so myself. That worked. Okay. So now we have a form. It works. Looks nice. Well, I don't know if nice is a word. Let's fix this header. Oh, we can't forget to close the form. As if I'd be so bold. So I added some stuff. Look. Okay, it's not looking too bad. But here's the thing. Let me show you a little trick. So, you know how I said it doesn't matter for until we get to backend? Well, see this, watch this URL, this bar right here. If you put a name, let's fill out the form. Also, yep. Password's QWERTY, by the way, don't tell anyone. Notice how the page, the URL, all this information that was here, it's disappeared. Now look at this. This is basically telling you everything you filled out. So to make sure that your form works since we're not doing backend. So you can see that the name was John, email was test, password was QWERTY, gender was male, favorite breed is Shiba, and the checkbox was on. Text area, I gotta work on that. But you see we have a form, it kinda works. What now? Probably asking me what now. So we did labels, we did validations, all that. So I think it's time for a project. I taught you all the basic HTML, everything that you need, well not need to know, but it's enough. And before anyone calls me out, yes, I was using Colt Steele's Web Dev Bootcamp as sort of outline, but it's good, and yeah. So, what I want you guys to do, while you have free time, is remake this website right here. As you can see, I don't know if you don't like Pokemon. I'm sorry, but please, it's something to do. HTML. So we have heading. This is very similar to the Doggy Club. Notice how this is bold, this is emphasized. I didn't do all the regions because I'm lazy. And we have a table. Has a picture of the Pokemon, name, type, and wiki to the evolution. And again, I want you guys to recreate this and click here to become a trainer. Guess what it is? It's a form. Yep. I'll get rid of... Okay, there's an error here. It should be placeholder, but you click submit. You can see these validations. What you do need is a name, first name, last name, email, password, birthday. I didn't put all the days or months or years. what matters is that, you know, it works. Starter, and don't forget the links to return. So, there's one more thing that I didn't teach you guys that you could Google. You might have to do your own research. So, it's a password, right? Just enter everything. See that? Yep, you need an email. But, see that? Enter with 5 or more, and it caps you at 10. I didn't tell you to do that. That's why you gotta Google it. And my password was A. I'll give you guys links to the information for this. And another thing, note how if you click here, it's a link to this. It's very similar to the doggy thing we just made, but it's practice. It might not look pretty because we don't know CSS yet, but it's better than nothing. Alright, so that's all I got for HTML. If you have any questions, just hit me up in the Discord. I'll do my best to answer, and I'll make a CSS video soon. Alright, thanks guys. Stay coding.